Love is a strange kind of light. It doesn't dazzle or shout, yet it can warm even the coldest heart. The commandment, "Love one another as I have loved you," isn't just a rule. It's a beacon that guides humanity through the storms of life. In the quiet corners of small towns, where people still believe in kindness and faith lingers in every flickering light, simple stories often hold the deepest truths. In one such place, a village called Green Hill, nestled among the golden cornfields of the American Midwest, there stood a little wooden house with a porch lamp that never went out. It was kept burning by the gentle heart of a widow, a poor boy, and a man carrying the weight of his own mistakes. Martha lived alone in a small wooden house at the edge of Green Hill. Her husband had passed away long ago, and her only son had left the village and never returned. Yet every evening, as the sun dipped behind the cornfields, people would see the soft glow of a lamp hanging on her porch, golden, steady, and warm. Neighbors would ask, "Why keep that lamp burning, Martha? You live alone now." She would smile gently and answer, "For travelers who've lost their way, so they'll know there's still a light somewhere." One autumn afternoon, as rain poured down, a boy named Eli stopped under her porch, soaked and shivering. He was a newspaper boy, thin, with torn shoes and a patched jacket. Martha opened her door, handed him a mug of hot cocoa, and said, "Come inside, child. The cold can be cruel." Eli glanced at the lamp swaying outside. "Don't you worry about wasting oil?" he asked. She smiled. "This lamp doesn't just burn oil, Eli. It burns faith, and what's left of kindness in this world." From that day on, Eli often stopped by to help Martha chop wood or mend fences. Though they shared no blood, the light from that little lamp connected two lonely souls. Neither of them knew that soon, that same light would guide another, someone who had been lost far longer than either of them imagined. One freezing winter afternoon, Martha noticed a dark shape slumped beside the road. She and Eli ran to help. It was a middle-aged man, half buried in snow, clothes torn, lips blue. "We need to bring him inside," Martha said firmly. Eli hesitated. "What if he's dangerous?" "The most dangerous people," she said softly, "are the ones nobody dares to believe in anymore." They dragged him inside, lit the fire, and gave him warm soup. When he finally opened his eyes, he rasped, "Name's James." His voice was rough, his eyes clouded, like someone who had walked too long trying to escape his own shadow. By morning, the whispers had spread. "James? You mean that thief? The one who stole from the village store years ago and ran off?" People warned Martha, "You'll regret taking him in." But she replied calmly, "If God sends me someone in need, who am I to turn him away?" That night, Eli saw Martha changing the man's bandages by lamplight. Her hands trembled from age, but her touch was gentle. "Do you really trust him?" Eli asked. Martha smiled. "You don't always help because you trust, Eli. Sometimes you help because you can't bear to see someone give up hope." From then on, James stayed to repay their kindness, fixing fences, hauling wood, mending tools. He spoke little, but each time he looked at the porch lamp, his eyes lingered with quiet sorrow, as if it reminded him of something or someone long lost. That winter bit harder than any before. One day, Eli went into town and overheard people talking. "They say that James fellow stole the village's food supply during the famine, left everyone starving. He's got no right to be back here." Eli came home with a heavy heart. He wanted to believe Martha, but doubt gnawed at him. That night, with the wind howling outside, he whispered, "Is it true, Mr. James? Did you really steal from them?" James sat in silence for a long while, staring at the fire. Finally, he said quietly, "Yes, I did. My daughter was dying. I begged for help, but no one listened. I took what I shouldn't have, and she died anyway." His voice broke. "I ran because I couldn't face their eyes. Or my own." Eli said nothing. He just reached for the lamp and refilled it with oil. The warm light spilled across their faces. 3 people, 3 different wounds, all finding comfort in its glow. Then came the blizzard. The wind screamed, power lines snapped, and darkness swallowed the whole village. The porch lamp flickered and went out. Martha's hands shook. If someone's out there tonight, they'll never find their way. Without a word, James stood, grabbed a lantern, and disappeared into the storm. He trudged across the frozen fields toward the old oil shed, barely able to see. At dawn, they found him collapsed near the well, arms still wrapped around a full can of lamp oil. He'd nearly frozen to death. Eli cried as Martha whispered, "He's done something few righteous men would dare." They filled the lamp again. The light came back, brighter than ever. When James recovered, the villagers gathered at the church square. They shouted, "He doesn't belong here. A thief can't be trusted." Martha stood before them, small, frail, but unshaken. She spoke slowly, her voice carrying through the cold air. "I've lost my husband, my child, and nearly my faith. But every night, I keep my lamp lit, not to guide the good, but to guide anyone who's lost. If one light can save even one soul, I'd rather let it burn than let fear put it out." The crowd fell silent. Eli held James's hand as the man trembled. James stepped forward, voice cracking. "I wronged you all, but if you let me stay, I'll give back what I took, with my hands, my work, and what's left of my life." Something changed in that moment. The storm of anger began to melt into stillness. From that day on, James stayed. He helped rebuild the bridge, fixed wells, taught Eli carpentry. People began greeting him again, cautiously at first, then kindly. The porch lamp at Martha's house burned every night, a steady reminder of grace, the kind that asks for nothing in return. And so, in that quiet little village, love began to spread again. One act of kindness at a time. Years passed. Martha died peacefully in her sleep, a soft smile still on her face. The entire village came to her funeral. James and Eli placed her old porch lamp in front of the church, with a small wooden sign that read, "This lamp has guided the lost, warmed the lonely, and reminded us that love, true love, never dies." Every night that lamp still glowed, no matter the wind or snow. Some said they could see the faint outline of an old woman sitting by it, smiling gently. Eli, now the village school teacher, would tell the children the story of Martha and James. And each time he ended with these words, "Light doesn't come from oil or fire. It comes from hearts that dare to love. And each of us can be a lamp, if we love the way God has loved us." The lamp on the porch isn't just a story about Martha, James, and Eli. It's about us. Ordinary people learning how to love in an imperfect world. Kindness doesn't need a reason. Forgiveness doesn't need permission. And love, true love, is simply the courage to light a lamp when everyone else fears the dark. When we love as He loved, we don't just save others. We save ourselves from the coldness of indifference. And so, even when the night feels endless, the world still shines. Because somewhere, someone's heart is still burning with love.